Well, I guess that brings us up to the last game of the week here. Best one by far, Thursday Night Football, Bengals versus Ravens.
You
Bengals
took the easy way out. We all
34,
knew that was the
Ravens
game of
35.
the
Hey,
week.
somebody had to pick it.
This might
Hey,
go down
that's
as
fair.
game of the year.
Yeah, honestly. Primetime game of the year for sure, I think.
Yeah, it was 21-7, 6 minutes left in the third quarter, ended up being
Snoozer most of the game.
35-34. Wow. Jamar Chase absolutely kills the Ravens every single time. 11 catches, 264 yards, three touchdowns.
Ugh.
What is he, the only guy in NFL history with over 260 receiving yards and three touchdowns in two separate games now?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff out there. It was a fantasy delight for everybody involved. Joe Burrow went off, Chase Brown went off. Derrick Henry scored a touchdown for you. Didn't do much else besides that. Lamar went off. Whatever you wanted, it was there. Lamar, obviously the MVP again this year, front runner at least. He has as many passing touchdowns through 10 weeks as all of last year in his MVP season. And he can still run the ball pretty damn well. There was a moment late in the fourth quarter. It was in the red zone. He ran back like 15, 20 yards, came back, ended up making a 10-yard gain out of that. Thought he was going to end up scoring there, but tackle out the one, let Derrick Henry get his touchdown there. It all comes down to Bengals thinking they got screwed again by the refs. What's new? Happens every single week. Uh, Questionable call there with hands to the face, whatnot. Who cares? You should have gone, kick the field goal. Don't go for the win if you know shit like that's going to happen. It's the AFC North. It's not going to end up well for you.
Dude, I think the Bengals fans lack the ability to just be like, yeah, we lost. We sucked. We didn't play good enough. Like, I think they always need an excuse. And I feel like it's usually the refs. Like, they're constant, like, I think a lot of fans of the Bengals bitch about the refs.
The Bengals fans believe it's them against the world,
Yeah.
and not just like, oh, sometimes things can happen. And to be honest, when they got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and they started building this team in the beginning, I was like, there's no reason for me to hate the Bengals. They've been a bad franchise. It's not like Cincinnati's some great city, but like
But
they
then,
give you that small town kind of like the Kansas City feel, right? Like you can this isn't a team that you hate. They've always kind of sucked, and you wouldn't be mad at them like at least being a good team. And then
but
the
then,
people of Cincinnati decided to show their true colors and that they're just massive assholes with low IQs that don't understand the way things actually work. And now the entire rest of the country hates you, whether they have a team or they don't, because you just don't know ball and you think you're the best and you're not making the playoffs for 2 years in a row.
It's like, well, everybody likes to shit on Ohio in general, but like Ohio likes to shit on Cincinnati.
say though, dude, like a lot of Ohio, a lot of people, and because a lot of people shit on Ohio, Ohio really does. Most people from Ohio are just like, yeah, it's Ohio versus the world. Fuck everybody else. Like that is a real attitude that they have
Yeah.
there. So I understand where that comes from for sure.
Except for
But
Cincinnati, they hate Cincinnati.
I mean, it's in Ohio, so it's like
No,
Southern
the rest of
Ohio.
Ohio hates Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
all
maybe. I
it's
don't
all the
know,
way on
dude.
like the
I don't
the
know.
border of it's
Yeah,
Southwest.
I had a
Yep.
buddy from Cleveland. He talked a lot of shit on Akron. He would just constantly
you hate
belittle
LeBron if you
Akron.
hate Akron.
Huh?
I said you hate LeBron if you hate Akron.
I don't see where that maths, but
Where he's from.
LeBron is from Akron.
yeah, I see how that math can math. How the fuck does that how does one of that add up to the other?
All right.
Do we think we talked last week that Zach Taylor could, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, Zach Taylor could be out as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. They put up a good fight. It
Yeah,
was
dude, yeah, I
divisional
mean,
game, but this is the two best games that the Cincinnati Bengals have put together have been against the Ravens. Other than that,
And
like, yeah,
lost.
they've won a couple of games and they lost both of them.
and they've
Yeah, they
lost
put
both.
together a couple of
Bummer.
wins. They've been able to play some games, but really they haven't looked like the team that they used to. They haven't looked like a good team, really, period. Is it about time? We talked about maybe the Colts blowing up. Is it about time for the Cincinnati Bengals to blow it up?
No,
Absolutely. I mean, Jamar
no.
Chase literally just priced himself out of Cincinnati, so What else are they going to
Yeah,
do there?
he's gone. He's not staying in Cincinnati at
They're
all.
not. They cannot pay him.
They waited too long to pay him. If they wanted to keep him, and there's been a lot of rumors and not rumors, there's been a lot of stories that have come out from former Cincinnati players about how bad that front office is, including Andrew Whitworth. Put out a big long. He was part of a podcast where they interviewed him and put out a big long thing about how his time in Cincinnati ended. Good for Jamar Chase that he gets out.
Yeah, they don't really seem to make the best moves front office wise, and they finally have an indoor facility after like 60 years of not having an indoor facility up in Cincinnati, which it gets cold as fuck, I guess, in Cincinnati. So yeah, I do you blow it up or do you just kind of like ship everybody else off besides Joe Burrow and build around him again, or do you blow it all
Either
up? You
way,
get
it's
rid
not
of
going to
clear
work.
house, you clear house.
I think you clear house. It's I don't know if it's ever going to work out because again that front office is bad. But the one thing they didn't do in the beginning that they should have done was what? Get your quarterback and offensive line. What
Mhm.
did they decide to do instead? Is get Jamar Chase, which hey, Jamar Chase has been fantastic. You did make a Super Bowl, but the consistency was never there. Why? Because had nobody protecting your quarterback, especially at the left tackle position until you brought Orlando Brown in, which now he's injured and he's been out for the season. So what do you do? Because you didn't bring in an offensive lineman, then you had to start drafting for defense, and you had to start drafting for other positions because they were needed. And you started trying to take veterans or lower draft pick guys in to come in and protect the guy that you just paid $100 million to. So how do you remedy that? You've got to blow that up, and you've got to bring in guys on low cap.
How much? How much
There's no
is
other way around.
how much is Joe Burrow worth trade wise right
Uh,
now? I mean, I know you can't
too
trade him right
much.
now, but how much is he worth right now?
Too much. There's literally no. There's he uh,
A
he is
king's
very good.
ransom. It would be a king's ransom.
It would. How much is Patrick Mahomes worth? Now I'm not saying Joe Burrow is Patrick Mahomes,
No,
but
but money wise, it's probably
he's in
similar.
those
Yeah.
upper tiers, right?
Uh-huh.
So if
Yeah.
somebody's going to trade for him, you're going to have to give up the next decade of first round picks.
No shit. You think so? At least. So then who the fuck's gonna take him?
No one. It's one guy that you're keeping Joe Burrow and you're building around him. You're
Hmm.
just blowing the rest of the team up.
Well, you said blow it all up initially.
Doesn't mean displace everyone.
I blow it all up means blow it all. Or am I
Whatever,
or
Tommy.
do I not speak? I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing
You
something.
don't speak
Either way,
Taiba.
dude.
You've made Tybo leave the show. Come on,
Good,
guy.
good, good. Uh bye bye.